What we call in our household is meltdowns.
I introduced the last video, so you can do this one.
Okay.
If you want to.
Sure, that's
Yeah,
fine.
no pressure.
Hey everybody, this video is called Farming with Children and What We've Learned. So for the past 5 years, we have been running our small scale vegetable operation with 2 toddlers.
Well, 2 toddlers for the past couple years.
Yes.
At least
'cause
one
they were babies and newborns
in gestation
and stuff.
for the last 5.5
So
years.
it has been quite the experience. Hey, a hummingbird.
There's a hummingbird on the
Yeah,
comfrey.
That's beautiful. I love that right there.
Oh.
Our children are not going to be in this video, but we're going to talk about what we've learned, how it's all kind of happened, and
I think we'll break it up into 4 tidbits. Let's call them gleanings.
4
gleanings,
yes.
including what we've learned
Yep.
with each gleaning.
Perfect.
So the first one I would probably say is that it is going to change every minute of every day.
Change is the only thing that you know.
Change will become your new constant.
And so you have to flow with it. It's a lesson in flow. It's a lesson in every...
And an exercise in resiliency.
Exercise and resiliency. So being new parents and being on a farm and running a farm together as a small family farm with a newborn, one of them, was a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot.
Kind of get the hang of it, and then
You kind of get this weird sense of like, oh, things aren't going to change that much.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
baby's just going to be here.
I can just pop that baby on my back and get back out to work. And then one day you're
imagine?
like, oh, my baby probably wants to like run around, or maybe they're hungry,
Oh, yeah.
or maybe they, want to go and explore that little field over there, or maybe they want to go roll around in the mud like a dang potbelly pig, or things happen. Kids have needs. It turns out they're actually tiny little people.
Yep. So obviously when you have children, your whole entire life changes. Okay. That's
supposed
that's
to.
a
That's the
given.
point.
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
But
Stop trying to hold on to your old life. It's gone.
And it's as the children are just new at being children, and we're just new at being parents. So like we're all in this whole new, every day is a new thing together. Balancing that with running the farm has been,
Which is also new because over the past 8 years we've started 3 farms.
Yep, but it's like the reason why we want to do the farm so much is for the children. So
That's
we're
the whole
all
point.
learning this together. And as a family farm grows, you get into a kind of cohesive frequency of the seasons, which is amazing, and just the day to day. It's really good. With growing a family on a farm and raising 2 toddlers, we're going to get into the second part. This is
Our second gleaning,
our second gleaning.
it's about
Expectations of what it's going to be like. All right, I'll just give a flat out of what I thought it was going to be like.
Okay.
And this is not really what I thought it was going to be like. I had no clue because the first element to changes, I was kind of getting spiraled up and down like a tornado, and so I just kind of let go of everything. But
kind of what you do.
you just want to see like the kids walking through and picking the tomato, and then they're picking a flower,
A butterfly.
a butterfly, and
An apple.
honestly, that happens a lot.
There are plenty of those
It
moments.
happens a lot.
But it is not all the time.
It's not all the time, and I guess the
Never a guarantee.
expectations part is, I guess we expected that we could just work and be parents at the same time.
In tandem.
And is that, I don't know, can we do that? Is that possible?
I really think that you hate when I say this. Well, you don't hate anything that I say, but
True.
I believe that, and this ties in with number 1, because everything is changing so rapidly. I mean, every day the weather is different, or every season the weather is completely different, and the kids are a little bit older. So the next time it's this same season again, the kids are going to be a whole year older. So we're not really going to have, you think you get your system down one day, you figure, hey, we got it. We're doing great, and you just
Yeah.
sort of expect that you're going to keep just winning and winning and win. I mean, it feels like we are winning. I'm losing track. I'm spiraling.
All right, let me bring it back to the track here. Basically, what she's saying is like once you teach your kid how to nap every day at noon, and they nap for 2 hours, and you have this expectation of what
You're
the
like,
day's
oh
going to
yeah,
be.
I can make a plan for in 3 weeks from now at noon. I'll be able to take a phone call.
Then you realize that the kids can't. And
Everything
they don't,
changes.
and everything changes again. So it's hard to have expectations of what it's going to be, and it's hard to
Because
plan.
of how rapidly everything changes. How
Exactly. So,
consistently everything changes.
and I really like how these gleanings are kind of like working together to kind of paint the whole picture of what it's like, what it's like raising these two toddlers on the farm, which is it does something to you, man. I'm telling you, it changes you, man.
For the better. It builds character
It really is building character, because
for us and them.
it's interesting talking about this, because what is it that we expect from having toddlers? And then the question is, what do the toddlers expect from us as parents?
That's a question that doesn't get enough focus.
Yeah, where does this come from? We've kind of come to the decision in our family that what the kids expect of us is everything. And so what we're going to give them is everything. And we're going to rearrange our lives so that we can do that.
Well, we have arranged our lives so that we will be as well-oriented as possible to provide the kids with everything we know they need.
Yep.
We know they need, dude. Should we talk about number 3?
Yeah, let's talk about number 3. So this whole thing talking about farming with kids, it gets real out there, because it's a lot. It's how do we even talk about
we're
it?
in hardcore mode, because we don't do, they don't go to a daycare or school.
Yeah, so let's tie this into the number 3. Let's share with the world, this is what a typical farm
day
day,
at the farm.
a typical
with the
day
kids,
is
with the young
us.
kids. Again, this too will change.
Exactly.
They're not going to be young forever.
So we live in a small cabin. We all bunk up in the same room. We're big proponents of co-sleeping. We think it's been great. Our kids are very integral in our lives. They're at the farm with us all the time, and they
They're the
see the
center
ins
of
and
our
outs of
lives.
everything that we do with the farm. They come to markets with us. They've been on deliveries
Eat together,
with us.
sleep
We-
together,
It's
bathe together.
It's
Just
really
kidding, we
quite
don't bathe
amazing,
together.
because we're just building relationships with our children that's integrated with a farm, so that they can see how things grow, and they can eventually
That's the
get
point.
in and start to help and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of a typical day. So how would you say it
So
starts?
we get up, we wake up together around the time the sun wakes up. Lately we've been waking up earlier because our youngest has been waking up very early and demanding we get the day started, but that's okay. That will change.
That's a gentle way of putting it.
You know what? I'm kind of a gentle person.
Yeah, true.
I have my moments anyway. So we all wake up around the same time. Zach goes outside and gets his list together for the day. I get the kids, could be 30 minutes, could be 90 minutes, but at some point I've gotten the kids fed and dressed, regardless of how long they remain dressed.
It's great.
And we waddle on outside.
And then I'm kind of at that point I'm kind of churned into the farm.
Mm-hmm.
So I've basically
Churnt, if you will.
We started this farm together. We started learning about farming together, and we knew we were going to have children, start a family. But once the children really got here, Alana's role as like a full-time farm person, employee, really took a backseat to full-time mamahood.
We severely
which is cool.
underestimated how much I'd be able to contribute to the business itself once we had kids. Not just kids, but kids of the 2 to 5 year old variety. Ilk.
Yeah.
Wow, ilk.
Yeah.
Write that down. Pull out your
yeah.
tiny little notebook and write that one down.
All right, so we get the day going, and they have fun. I mean, they're with us. So Alana will kind of go out with them as for a gentle harvest, whether it's like flowers or cucumbers or tomatoes or whatnot. And I'd say we're at about a 70-30. 70% of the time, it's just great, and they're out there and they have a good time.
Yeah,
30%,
we've gotten to 70.
30% of the time, we have what we call in our household is meltdowns. Does anyone out there with children know what a meltdown
Nuclear
is?
meltdown.
even I
and
wa-
that's not 30% of the time. 30% of the time, it's less than pleasant, but 30% of that 30% of the time,
It's more
it's
than okay.
more maybe a meltdown.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Less than a
meltdown.
no, it is a meltdown.
Thrice.
So 70% of that, so 21% of the time, I would say, let's see, if we got 70% is great.
All right, we're getting off track here.
21% is,
Let's get to midday. So
and
we
then
gotta go
9%.
Yeah, we got to jump in and make lunch. Okay.
yeah.
So we make lunch in the cabin.
Well, and one thing that's crazy is we don't always eat at the same time. Sometimes, see, he doesn't really have breakfast.
I'm a strange when I do fasting. I do OMAD. I'm like, bulking up around 4 o'clock. So it's, we can go into
9
a whole
raw
video.
eggs before noon.
We can do a whole video on that.
Yeah, we'll get
That's
into
good.
it. But there's some form of lunch or like very heavy protein-rich snacking that takes place somewhere between 11:15 and 1:45.
Yeah. And so
And then around 3:30, 4 o'clock, Zach comes in for his pre-dinner snack, which is usually
Yeah.
about 1.5 pounds of ground beef and 2 boxes of Annie's mac and cheese.
Yeah, that's a good one. But so I give some of that to the kids too.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
Sometimes.
And basically, so I'm what we're getting at here is a typical day is like we got full-time mama, we got full-time farmer, and living in the same place together as a family, raising the kids, and the kids just kind of float around in between. So sometimes they'll come up to me and say, "Daddy, can I help you?" and
it's so sweet. It's what it's the point of all of this.
Yeah, and so I know that it's not work, so I have to get out of work mode. Of course you can.
Help me drive the
I was like,
tractor.
well, go ahead and go pick up that over there. No, I don't want to do that. I want to use.
Well, see, because
I
they
wanna
don't
use
actually
that.
want to help. They
I wanna
just
use
want to
Buffy.
actively participate, not for the
Exactly.
sake of contributing to the farm, but for the sake of the experience they
Yeah.
want to have.
So it's great. So then I just let them.
Which they should have.
Yeah, they stay around me. They can just kind of watch what I do. And
Excuse me a moment.
let's take a pause. Wow.
Can you pause it?
Should I pause? She's gone. She's gone. Well, it's just me. You might be able to hear Lana in the distance. When the children call, it's time to go. So they were doing something inside and needed her, and so she's going to go inside and say, hey. So I'm going to finish up this one. And I guess I'll kind of round off the typical day and basically get to the point and just kind of say that the bedtime routine is in the 3 to 4 hour span. There's a lot that happens. There's a lot of steps you have to take to get ready for bed. Brushing teeth, jammies, potty, stories, hugs. I mean, it's a long thing. We think routines are good. We flow with the seasons, and we don't have a strict bedtime. 7 p.m. every night. In the middle of the summer, bedtime, it's pretty much when the sun goes down, honestly. That's basically how we do it. So winter is great. And I'm excited about winter. Very excited about winter. And in the winter, I'll be excited about summer. It'll be awesome. So we're going to go into the fourth part of this, okay? And what we've learned from farming with children is to just slow down, just give up. Basically, just give up. Just stop and smell the roses. The work is not more important than the children. Obviously, we need to do the work. But the children, their minds are, their days are a lot longer than ours. A little bit of time to us probably seems like a lot longer time to them. So we make it a point to stop and slow down and relax and hang out with them. And it's easier said than done, I guess you could say. And I guess the balance that me and Alana have chosen in our relationship is that I have the capacity, if they were to come to me and say, Daddy, can we do that? Daddy, can we do that? I can say, no, I'm working, sorry. And I, put my safety glasses on and jump in the tractor and keep going. Alana, she doesn't really have that. She doesn't really say no. It's a lot. Alana does a great job with it. It's fantastic. She's teaching them. They have their learning times and things like that. But when the kids want to do something, she doesn't just say, no, I'm busy. No, I'm doing something else, because what she's doing is raising them. And that's what we've chosen to do. And we are very, very happy with that. And very supportive of anyone else doing that, because I don't know, everything's crazy out there. We need kids who are going to grow up and do awesome things. So we're going to round off our Farming with Kids and what we've learned video with saying, I wish Alana was here with me, but she's not always going to be here because she has the children to attend to. And I can kind of make these videos for fun and stuff. So Farming with Kids is crazy. It's just crazy. I'm going to miss it. I am. But, we're living it up because of number 4, slowing down. So, yeah.